Hey friends, welcome back to Potter Plus, your podcasting home for the upcoming Harry Potter television show, and so much more. I'm your host, William, and I've got a great show for you today. Coming up a little later, I'm speaking with Grapefruit Network co-founder and one of my best friends in the entire world, Dallas McKinney. He came on the show to discuss franchises making the jump from the big screen to the small. It was a very fun conversation. I can't wait to bring that to you. But first, I've got to be perfectly honest with you. I have waited weeks to record this episode, partly because in December, the news kept coming, and that's why that one was delayed toward the end of the month. But January has been crickets. You would think with them beginning production in Leavesden in the summer of 2025, this year, that we would be inundated first of the year with a flood of news and casting and all of that stuff, but it nothing. Until finally, one day prior to this recording, Food Network and Warner Brothers, as well as Harry Potter, announced that the mischief continues. We are excited to announce that Harry Potter Wizards of Baking has been renewed for a second season. I don't know if you got to catch the first season, but it was incredible. The artistry of all of those bakers, plus Fred and George Weasley as the host, it was perfection, especially for a holiday show. So I'm super excited that that's coming. And that's about it when it comes to the news. Harry Potter's coming back in theaters, but that's been happening several times. I'll have links to everything down in the show notes. But with that, we are going to take a break. And when we come back, I've got my conversation with Dallas McKinney. We'll be right back. Dallas McKinney, welcome, my man, to Potter Plus.
Hey, hello. How's it going?
I'm ecstatic. Number one, because you're just one of my favorite humans on the planet to talk to regardless.
You're one of my favorite humans.
Also, thanks. If you have migrated to Potter Plus from any of our other shows inside the Grapefruit Network, you already know Dallas. But I know a lot of our listeners who are organic reach from you all sharing this with your friends. So Dallas McKinney, why don't you take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell my Potter Plus listeners a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I have known William for, has it been over half of our lives now? Have we hit the tipping point? Have we?
We met when we were 18.
And I'm 37 now. I'm bad at math.
We're getting there. This is the year.
Yeah.
This is the year we cross over to half of our lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Man. But I am a professor of criminal justice professionally. I'm a girl dad and fairly new to Harry Potter in the grand scheme of things. I'm an adult recipient. I was introduced to it by you, and it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, 6 years ago. So there was no nostalgia. There was no growing up with it. So it's new to me, and I love it. And I've been on the train ever since.
That was completely the plan. Now you're glossing over the circumstances under which I introduced you to this.
Yes, I was not able to.
He is also one of the most humble and greatest guys on the planet. I literally had to wait for a moment where he was bedridden and could not move and had no choice. And I got was it a Google Play gift card?
It was.
And I calculated how much money all of the movies would be so that you could, because you're an Android user, so that you could download the movies. You had no other choice. You could not move because this man donated half of his liver to someone who was actively dying of liver disease. Saved another. He is a in real life superhuman. Number one, not only because he saved another human's life, but he also regrew the other half of his liver. Which, if that's not a superpower, I don't know. But they had no choice. I bought them the entire series, so he watched Harry Potter the first time. So he knew what I was talking about when I went on my long-winded rants. But since then, touch on your most recent expedition through the series.
Okay, so my daughter, she's very strict on herself on what she watches and reads and listens to, and so for a long time she's like, Harry Potter I think is too violent for me as a child. Whenever I'm ready, I'm ready. And so this past year, she started reading the illustrated versions until we ran out of those. And those were graciously seeded by William. And she was hooked. And so we all read them as a family. So me, my wife, and my daughter, we read through them together. So my wife would check one out from the library. I have a box set also graciously given to me by William.
I forgot about that.
They're up there on that shelf. And so we would all read them together until we got about halfway through. And like I would get busy doing things, so I would lag behind. And she was like, you have to catch up. So I started listening to it because I had time driving, doing work things, and caught up. And she realized you could listen to them. So the last 2 books, maybe 3 books, we listened to. And every time we would, like the day we would finish reading it, we would watch a movie. So we would, very fast, good or bad, doing it that way. That's what we did. And so we are fully immersed as a family in Harry Potter. We went to Wizard Fest, and my daughter sat through classes and took notes like she was there. So we're in it. We are in it now.
Like the little Ravenclaw that she knows she is.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. Have you told her? I don't even know if you knew this, that Hermione was a hat stall.
No.
So the hat stalled between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw.
Really?
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, sat on her head for a long time to where people were starting to fidget and whisper to each other, and then ultimately did choose Gryffindor, but she was a hat stall between the two. So the fact that she wanted bangs like Hermione, but she says she's a Ravenclaw is...
Oh, yeah.
It could not be more accurate to Hermione if she tried.
I will tell her that, and she will be over the moon.
So my seed planting and my world building has brought forth fruit.
Oh, 1,000%.
You have now read the books and seen the movies. Now, she has consumed them the way God intended them, and to read the books, then go watch the movie and be disappointed by the movie.
Yes.
That's the way it was.
Is that how it's supposed to be? She says she does that with a clipboard. But then after the fact, she's like, we're going to watch this again, right? Because I love it. And I was like, you just sat there like wagging your finger at the screen. You're like, that's not accurate. And then as soon as it's over, she's like, this is the best movie I've ever watched in my whole life.
Kristen will argue the other direction. She watched the movies, really had no interest in the books, and read the books in med school. And she had the experience of, she got a story, which she liked, but then read the book, and there was so much more. And
that does
she felt like
a very good way
there
to
were
do
more vistas of information and knowledge that popped out to her.
Right.
It is going to be interesting when we make the jump to television, because HBO has billed this as a faithful adaptation of the book. And I think several of the producers and even some of the early directors have said that if it did not pertain to Harry's story directly, it was cut.
Wow.
Even if it was adjacent and did kind of help to guide his story, if it was not immediately crucial to his story, it got cut. So characters like Winky, Spew was completely cut from the series.
Right.
Peeves was not visualized at all throughout Hogwarts. They almost tried to cut Creature, but Rowling was like,
yeah,
probably don't want to do that. Because all of that was expensive, like doing the CGI. And so it was balancing costs, but it was also, how do I condense this 500-page book into a 2.5-hour movie? But we're getting more leeway. We're getting more runtime whenever it comes to the series. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on Potter Plus is you are my preeminent Star Wars friend and Star Wars fan. This has gone back way before Disney's acquisition of the series. I've heard you play Knights of the Old Republic. I've seen you play Knights of the Old Republic when we were in college, reading the extended lore and the extended canon books. I felt the cry out in the Force whenever the Legends books became Legends books and they were no longer canon. When we were doing our training to 5K in the rec center at Morehead State, you were lamenting. You were grieving.
I did.
Let's be honest. You were grieving, but your fandom, the one that you had the strongest ties to, has gone through what the Potter fandom is going through soon, in that it made the jump to television. And as a Star Wars fan whose fandom, which is primarily books and movies, made the jump to the small screen, I wanted to have you on to see what lessons could the Wizarding world learn from that jump. What did they do right? What did they not do right? How can Harry Potter's, the Wizarding world, learn from that transition? If you're up for it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So lessons that I wish or hope that they learn is...
Well, let's kind of go through the timeline here. The first TV show was Mando. It was Mandalorian.
Yes. And I felt like they did a great job, and it's gone for a while now, of honoring and liking the source material and taking it slow. Because that's what TV's in theory for, is you're putting it in episodes so you can tell a longer story than a movie. So you can take it slow. It's like a relationship. You don't got to rush it. You don't need to get to where you kill the villain at the beginning. You can take it slow. So I think if they, with Mando, that's what they did, is they were telling a story about a character who we don't know. He's not one of the heroes from the movies. He's not a giant name, and they're trying to name drop to get you invested. It's just, how can we, in the world of Star Wars, all of the set pieces and all of the cool stuff, tell their own story, but take it slow and stay within the confines of how the world works. They didn't change anything structurally with how the Force works or how spaceships work. It was all part of, and there was things in the background and planets and creatures and characters that you will eventually see and know, but they didn't throw all those out there in the beginning. They just got the vibe right. And I think it's because they liked the content, so they handled it well. So with Mando, that, I feel like they jumped out of the gate knowing what they were getting into. People just like the setting of Star Wars. Same with Harry Potter, with Hogwarts Legacy. Just the vibe of walking around the castle is a huge chunk of why that game is so good. Because you're I'm just here. I just want to walk around and look at the walls. I like that.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
It is going to take me a million years to finish this game because I did not have a next generation console. We had a Nintendo Switch, and there was almost a full year delay from the time that it came out on PS5, Xbox Series 1, Xbox Series X, to the time that it came out on the Switch. And even then, I say what you will about the Switch, and especially with the Switch 2 coming up, this is going to blow all other metrics out of the water. I could just feel it in my bones. But graphically, this is a game you want to look at.
Yeah.
And the Switch, between all of the loading times to go into every single room and the graphic resolution, that is what made me jump. And I found one on sale. I got an Xbox Series X. We finally, after 17 years with our beloved knitting aisle television that was on a rack on sale, we got a 4K television. And I got Hogwarts Legacy when they invented capture mode or photo mode.
Oh, yeah.
I am a photographer as well. I did it professionally for about 13 years. And while we did kind of wrap that up during COVID, I still do it in my spare time. You're telling me that you are going to drop me in a 4K resolution Hogwarts setting, grounds that I can completely explore. And with a click of the button, I can go in there. I can manually adjust the shutter speed. I can adjust the depth of field. I can change the time of day. I can fly the camera around like it's on a drone. I can change the focal length, and I can take pictures, and those pictures come to me, and I can have them in my camera roll as if I was like, I'm Colin Creevy in the game. And I have ADHD. So I walk into a new room with a task to do, and I go, ooh, I click into photo mode, and I'll spend 10 minutes framing a photo just to take a photo. So it's going to take me forever. But like you said, it's that familiarity. It's you're being able to drop into the setting. And it was the highest grossing game of 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Highest grossing game. You're kind of glossing over something with Mando that I think made it an instant hit. Glossing over a tiny little green thing with Mando.
This is true. But they weren't like, do you like Yoda? You want more Yoda? Everybody knows who Yoda is. Here's more Yoda. It was, you're familiar with this thing. And in this world, it's obvious that there's going to be more of this type of alien.
And baby versions.
Yeah. And so
everybody loves baby versions of things.
Exactly. So and it wasn't like, you like babies? I bet you would like Luke Skywalker's baby. Like it was just, it was not attached to anything but later on. And even like at first I was like, oh man, I really don't want this show to be about Grogu. I wanted Mando. But they built a family. They built a family. There's other stories. It's not just punch, kick, explode. They like really rooted all of the characters, and they all had to rely on each other and grow in the world of Star Wars. And I think that is what kind of pushed it. And in the further seasons, like there's giant kind of, not world ending, but giant stakes at hand, but they built up to those things.
Yeah, it was earned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the analog here for the jump to the Harry Potter series is, yes, they're retelling a story, but it's a safe bet.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially under the guise the Harry Potter books read very episodically.
They do, yeah.
Like each. Did you ever watch Prison Break?
Yeah.
Like each chapter ends with kind of a Prison Break style, like, whoa,
right, yeah,
to make you immediately want to flip the page and keep reading. So just chapter wise, it reads like a television show. It reads like a serialized drama. So it does make sense, and I do think we're going to gain some things from it going to television. But it is a safe bet. But you want your foundation of your house to be safe and boring.
Right.
Because safe and boring last, and it's durable. And with Mando, people love the Mandalorians and their jetpacks. Who doesn't love a jetpack?
Right, yeah.
Let's be honest. They love baby creatures. And I think pairing those two together, Pedro Pascal and a like daddy to like his found family, this whole thing that he has going where it's like this little chosen one foundling that becomes their surrogate dad to. It's very much his brand now. So that was a safe bet there. And then they started to get weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good weird. Sometimes it was bad weird.
Right, yeah.
But they had that foundation laid out, and all of the evidence points to Warner Brothers doing the same thing.
Right.
Because inside of the Warner Brothers Discovery press junket, honestly, whenever they were introducing Max, and when they were introducing Max, I have some quotes that I pulled from, and I'll link the actual keynote if you want to go watch this. But they said the quote, "We don't have to take time to create new characters. We have had them for years. Max Originals will take advantage of their strong IP. Max Originals will continue to explore new stories in familiar universes. Great entertainment from iconic intellectual property. The same programming team that brought you House of the Dragon is greenlighting new stories that will push boundaries. We aren't quite done yet. Game of Thrones." And then they talked about how even the Game of Thrones universe was expanding, and they were doing prequels and sequels, and all of that rhetoric does point to the fact that they're going to expand the Wizarding world.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Max, or just a streaming platform, is a perfect place to do it because you don't have to. It's not as tied to super wide releases.
Right.
Honestly, I think when you don't have the biggest budget in the world, it causes you to get creative.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that with several of the Doctor Who episodes where
1,000%.
there was a villain that you didn't see that was conveyed through the acting of the characters and a knocking noise, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
So, like, having that as the playground to play in, just like the Star Wars universe did.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's what the Harry Potter television show is. It's the firm footing. It's the foundation from which they're going to jump. And then Star Wars went from The Mandalorian. What was the next one? Was it Book of Boba Fett?
I think so. And that one, I liked it because I was just along for the ride. I didn't have my clipboard out for that one as much. And I really liked the Boba Fett old books that aren't canon anymore. Are they up there? Yeah, they're the blue Force ghosts are sitting on that shelf right there. So I was really interested in what they were going to do with it, knowing that they were going to change things because it's different now. But it didn't hit as hard, and it's because whenever you have a fandom that is that old, it's kind of set in concrete, and when you change things, it has to be really slow or they'll freak out. And so Boba Fett, who was the like no nonsense mercenary who you just didn't see him and he just shoot everything, all of a sudden is like not doing that anymore. And so it just kind of slowed down, which is whatever.
Do you think that was the reason?
I think part of it, and then there was also just like random, it felt kind of mishmashed. Like they didn't really have a strong through line for where they wanted it to go. But he was always like, I need their respect. And then they would like shoot up his house and he's like, I'm not going to hurt them, but I need their respect. And I was like, this isn't really the Boba Fett we're used to. Yeah. And it just kind of drug it along. But
now, that show to me, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed kind of the history of the Tusken Raiders and how he was taken in that regard. This show to me felt like Mando was safe. You had Jon Favreau at the helm. We're going to make an old style Western, kind of a, almost like it's like True Grit, but it was Mando. Easy. This one felt like, it's like two kids in the sandbox with their Rancor figure and their Boba Fett action figure, and their droideka, and they're just like bashing them together in the sand.
Oh yeah. Like I don't know if they know where we're gonna go, but yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
It's not high minded. I know they tried to get there a little bit, but it very much felt like kind of turn your brain off.
Yeah, we're gonna kill a whole giant crate dragon in like 30 minutes. We're just going to blow it up from all over the place and just explosions the whole time. Yeah.
And I think there's value in that approach too.
Yeah, because I like it that it's like different types of stories. Like you have a Western and you have a samurai type show and you have like, that's what I wanted. That's
where we went.
Yeah.
With Ahsoka.
Yeah.
What did you think of Ahsoka?
So Ahsoka helped me on some fronts, and then because I'm a curmudgeon old Star Wars fan, hurt me in others. So I was never a huge fan of Ahsoka, the character, because the cartoons came way after my time. And my first introduction to the Clone Wars was the book that they turned into a movie where Jabba has a baby called Stinky, and I was like, I have strong negative feelings towards that, and it was hard for me to ever get on that train. So I never got to really like enjoy her character. It was like, oh, whiny kid, because she was a whiny kid in the first ones. It's the whole point. So she never grew on me, but she did grow on me in that in her show because it showed the struggle of her past and her as an adult with all that. So it really helped me grow with her. They took Thrawn, who I have those Force ghosts up there too, and changed things, but it's fine. I feel like they did a good job with him now, but they changed the way the Force works in that show from like you have midichlorians, you're born, like certain people have it, certain people don't, to any like with, what's her name? Sabine, like you can be trained to use it. We all have it. And push that towards the forefront.
That. Okay.
Yeah. And so for me, I was like, this doesn't sit well with me as an old fan. But my daughter, who's watching it with me in real time, who watched Rebels with her, and I enjoyed Rebels with her, loved it. So it's very much like, I think part of that is me coming from the beginning and being concreted in things and having a hard time moving, playing in the rules of the box. I also have a very lot like, this is the rules, you can't change the rules. And then I feel like they kind of moved the rules a little bit, so I had a harder time with that, but
sure,
it worked.
Well, I mean, she's almost 7, but even when she was 3 or 4 watching Shadowlands on Bluey, it's like, but why do we have the rules? Because the rules make it fun, Coco. And inside of a show, if throughout you watching the show, when the rules start to establish in your head, it's very satisfying when things play in the rules.
Yeah.
And out of that, when writers have to creatively work and weave around those rules in order to tell stories. And so it can be a little bit like I don't know, it's because the plot said so,
right,
that things would happen. It's like, oh, this feels like a little bit of a cop-out. Wait, you just established that it happens this way.
Yeah. And in like my personal fan square, I was like, she could have really been like still a great character, non-force using character, because she was a very strong, independent character. Not sure why they wanted to attach, the force to that character, but they did. It was a choice
because they needed what's his name to be able to make that jump.
Right. Yeah.
That was the reason.
Yeah.
They're like, the ship's going to be pulling away and he's not going to be able to make the jump. Okay, give her the force. That'll fix it. Like, have her force assist.
Yeah. Give her Mando jetpack back towards the beginning and then let her rocket over to it. But such is life. And it's another one, like, they moved it probably, they adjusted it further than I was comfortable with in my curmudgeonly old age.
Was the next one? Okay, so we had Old Western. We had Kids in the Sandbox smashing their toys together. We had Samurai.
Yeah.
And then what was the next? Was the next one the Acolyte?
Is it? If we're not counting cartoons, I think so. Maybe. And that was another one that they were artistic with it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it landed with all fans, but they tried. Like, they tried something new.
Sure.
And it didn't fly well with, I guess, enough to greenlight more. But whenever you get this far in, like even with Marvel, you get so far in, you're going to, you have to try new things because you can't keep the same thing forever.
Yeah.
And they're not all going to catch. But the cool thing about these worlds is you can try new things to see. You're not locked into, man, we're just Harry Potter and that's it. Like, no other characters are allowed. Like, eventually, someday, you're going to have to do something different if you're going to, let it stretch out that far. Tony Stark can't be here forever. He can't be your daddy every time. Like, you're going to have to change it.
But then the Star Wars universe, most recently, the TV side of things ended with Skeleton Crew.
Yes. And it's they picked a different trope.
They picked Steven Spielberg Amblin 80s kid adventure movie.
Yeah, they did.
Which I'm like, what if you would have told me it was like Goonies in space?
Right.
I'm like, what? Pirates and kids on bikes, like running through in Star Wars? But
that show is fantastic.
Every single episode.
Yeah. But they didn't change any rules that I'm aware of. And so, like, because it is such a vast sandbox, like, it's all of space. Like, you could tell everything if you want it. Like, Doctor Who does that. Doctor Who has very like fast and loose rules, but still like they most of the time play within the confines of.
You will put honor on the name. It's wibbly wobbly.
Wibbly wobbly, my bad. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, but they still, I feel like, play in the sandbox. Like they don't break that sandbox very often. And so they told this amazing story that like my daughter watched. Like it was not something I had to watch when she wasn't there. And it was amazing. Fantastic. Great. Like we get online all the time. We're like, are there any toys up? Are there any toys up yet? Like they make some action figures now of the kids. So they do.
I want a Neil.
They have a Neil.
And I'm going to protect him at all costs.
Right? He was
because I kept saying show. Don't you do it, show.
I know.
We have to protect Neil at all costs. Neil is the best of us.
And it's the Black series, so it's like the action figures that they like put pretty good attention to detail in.
Oh,
in them.
Yeah.
But it's wild because they're kids, so they're small because they're proportional to the adult characters.
To the adult characters, yeah.
But I love it.
Okay, well, speaking of young Dumbledore, who was also in that show.
Yeah.
We've recapped live action Star Wars TV history from The Mandalorian up until now. Are there any lessons? I have the red phone to Warner Brothers right back here. And Joe Rowling is conferencing in. She hands you the phone. Like, listen, I am the preeminent Star Wars expert. Okay, I had a hand in overseeing the shows, not the production. I just oversaw them. I saw them whenever they came out. This is what you got to do. What do you think worked in bringing Star Wars stories to the small screen? What didn't, and what could the wizarding world take away from this like proof of concept of moving a franchise to the small screen?
I think if you love the original content first, like you have a passion for this, if you're going to be on the project, you kind of need to like where it's coming from, because then you're going to have, that's always going to kind of guide the ship. What I also really like video games and stuff, and Halo, they didn't even really play the game, and they're like, we're going to change it on purpose, and that didn't go very good. Yeah. And Fallout,
we'll go with it.
They all loved it and were big old nerds about it, and I feel like they got the vibe right because they knew the rules because they played in that sandbox. So I think if you love the source material and recognize that there are fans already, like you don't have to placate all of your fans all the time, but do realize that there are fans coming on board. So maybe don't change things super fast if you're going to change things at some point, and just take it slow. It's that's the reason why they're greenlighting it's because it's going to make money because people love Harry Potter. So take it slow in there.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to go really fast in this. It'll make money, I'm sure. And people really enjoy the original, so you don't have to do a ton to it to make it work.
We've already gotten some details. So you had mentioned that, and Francesca Gardner, who's the showrunner, with Mark Mylod, who's executive producing and directing. So she has referred to herself as Hermione coded and an Hermione type in interviews predating them even announcing the show.
Wow. So it's in good hands.
She already describes herself as Hermione, and she is a super fan of the series. And so I feel like we have a good surrogate on the production team,
right,
who was going to kind of help guide that. And David Heyman, I think, is coming back to produce. He was one of the producers on the movies. Rowling's going to be there to kind of guide the ship as far as like canon goes and making sure it stays like faithful to the series. But we do have that, and I think that's encouraging.
1,000%.
They are filming in Leavesden. They are starting production at the Warner Brothers lot this summer.
Wow.
And so some of the iconic, like the Great Hall, that's not changing.
Right.
it's going to be the same. But they have said that they are going to treat Hogwarts Castle as if it is a real place in a real location.
Wow.
And so it's not going to be like, okay, we shot it in this courtyard over here, and we shot it in this building over here. Like, they are treating it as if it is real, as if it is laid out, ready for you, which I think is going to, because Hogwarts Castle, yes, it's magical, and that was kind of the like, it's magical. That's why it changed from this movie to this movie. But they are treating it, since they're starting from day one with a production design, it's going to go. Plus, I don't know that you can change the castle that much,
Right?
because that it's iconic now.
Oh yeah.
That great hall sitting next to the main spire with Dumbledore's office coming off of it. You look at that, you instantly know it's Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Can they exaggerate things? Can they enhance it? Can maybe hyperbolize it, just like Hogwarts Legacy did?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That is a very different castle, but you look at it, and the essence of Hogwarts is still there.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping. So we get a showrunner who loves the material.
Yes.
That's important.
That's important.
What else do you think makes it successful?
Know when to let things die. So, like, if it's going to be more than just the books, if you're going to tell a story, land the plane, let everybody get off, and go fly another one for a while, instead of just, like Harry Potter. Like, don't just reboot it 1,000 times. Like, let it go. And then try to breathe it into something else. And like, Batman has been done 8 bazillion times, and it kind of feels like they can't really, like, it won't go. And I think it's because they've tried it, the same formula, over and over and over and over again. Tell a different story. Like, Mando has to end, and then let's move on to a different person, because you have a universe to do that in. And also, people do get old and die or move on, and so if you can't keep the same characters for the rest of forever, so letting their arc go so you can bring other people on, I think will let it grow.
Yeah, I've been I've been beating this drum for a while, but I've got a backdoor pilot theory for this series, where there are many instances where the show can serve as a backdoor pilot, just like Mando did. It was a backdoor pilot for the Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
It was a backdoor pilot for the Ahsoka show. It was supposed to be the backdoor pilot for a not Rogue Squadron. What was the Rangers of the New Republic show before the whole Gina Carino drama?
Right.
It's like it was serving as the backdoor pilot for these shows because it has a firm foundation on which to build from. And I think they're gonna do the same. With Harry Potter. Like, you get to Chamber of Secrets. They flash back in the diary to Tom Riddle opening the Chamber of Secrets. You flash back to 1942, which is 10 years after the third Fantastic Beast movie and 3 years before the last one. So there's your backdoor pilot to finish Fantastic Beasts. Because a giant monstrous creature is unleashed on the school, and you have a character who is wrongfully expelled after taking the fall for somebody else who had a propensity and a love for giant monstrous creatures. Like, Hagrid is Newt Scamander's protege, and you know that if they're suspecting a basilisk, Dumbledore would have called Newt to the school to investigate it.
Oh yeah,
you absolutely know that. You can use that to finish Fantastic Beasts. You can have Professor Binns, not Professor McGonagall, teaching a history of magic. And, Professor, what can you tell us about the Chamber of Secrets? And he goes, the Chamber of Secrets, my dear, is a myth. But then he starts to talk about Hogwarts founding. There's your backdoor pilot for a founder show.
Yup.
And because there are so many cool stories you could tell, and especially this coming from Warner Brothers and HBO, they're always looking for the next Game of Thrones. No, actually, they're just making the next Game of Thrones.
Right.
But you have magic, castles, medieval times, dragons. Yeah. It's there for the taking. And then in the third one, whenever you get the backstory of the Marauders, there's your backdoor pilot to the Marauders.
Oh yeah,
and their time at Hogwarts. And so yeah, that's my backdoor pilot theory. It's like, this is just the starting point. This is not the finished product that I think we're going to get. But so let stories breathe. Let them take their time. If they come to a natural conclusion, stop trying to wring even more,
right?
Like a juice out of that orange. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I think it'll be great. I mean, it would be really hard to mess it up, I guess. I guess maybe it wouldn't be that hard to mess it up. But they've said they like it and they're gonna try really hard. And that is a huge reassurance and foundation right off the jump, is they're not trying to change the story, and they're trying to, it's given to them. Like Mando was new, like they're making it up as they go. If they're telling the Harry Potter story, it's there to tell. So you kind of already got your basis for your script and for special effects and characters and character development's already there. You just have to put it on the screen, which is not, the movies did it, but the movies were different. But it's never been done before. So this is a huge start to something that they could go with forever if they wanted to.
Well, I know I said, hey, let's come on and chat for 20 minutes. We've gone more than double that at this point. But Dallas, thank you again so much for coming on Potter Plus.
Anytime.
If you enjoyed what you heard from one Mr. Dallas McKinney, don't you fear. We have. Don't you fear. Don't you fear. Is that what? Don't you worry. We have 2 other offerings inside of the Grapefruit Network where you can hear Dallas absolutely cut loose. If you want to hear him terrorize a group of characters inside of the Fallout universe as our overseer and our overlord and our game master, go check out the Big Red Button. He is crafting a bonkers story inside of the Fallout universe, and it has been full of twists that I never would have expected, and I'm willing to bet it's been full of twists that you never would have expected.
1,000%
from the 3 of us. But if you just want to hear us chat more about the things we love, come check out A Doctor and a Lawyer Walk Into a Bar. You will quickly come to find out that I am currently speaking to one of the funniest human beings on the planet.
I'm just usually always unhinged. All the time.
That show has been on hiatus as, the lawyer in the Marquee has been taking extra college classes in addition to teaching and his job. And life kind of crept up and took our knees out and made us all kind of stumble a little bit. But it is coming back in March with our March Madness movie bracket, which I'm... movie bracket. You heard movie bracket because none of us sport. We have made this giant conference of movies that we are pitting against each other. So if you like what you heard today, come check out our other shows from our fellow Grapefruit Network alum, Dallas. But again, thank you so much for coming on Potter Plus, man.
Hey, anytime. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love this podcast. I listen to it all the time. And it's good to be on.
Stop. All right, see you, man.
See ya.
This episode is brought to you by the Big Red Button Podcast.
Do you know what you'd do in a nuclear apocalypse?
Because we sure as quack don't.
See how our choices get us into trouble and back out again in this actual play podcast.
Big Red Button is for lovers of the Fallout franchise, choose your own adventures, and tabletop role-playing games rolled into one big audio drama.
Our band of stragglers is unraveling a mystery in the wasteland, and we're at the mercy of the roll of the dice.
So grab your Geiger counters, take your rat away, and subscribe to our new show, The Big Red Button.
Well, that's it for this one, guys. Again, huge thank you to Dallas McKinney for coming on the show. And if you want to find out more about the other shows inside of our network, visit us at thegrapefruitnetwork.com. And if you want to find out more about this show, again, potterplus.show. We'll have all of the links in the description below. And I do want to invite you, come over and let's hang out on Instagram at Kentucky Wizard. There's a lot of fun things happening over there. I shared a game that we play in the car whenever we go on long road trips, and it recently crossed 500,000 views, which is absolutely bonkers to me, but I'm meeting a lot of fun people, and you should come check it out. For now, I have been William. Thank you for listening, and remember, you are just as sane as I am.